Attorney Allen.
We're here to talk about the light and the brightness that is Riley Whitelaw. Evil absolutely exists in this world, and it preys on the light of innocence and goodness that exists in people like Riley Whitelaw. Thankfully, there are men and women who have dedicated their lives to find truth. People like Detective Steve Alano and Detective Mike Lee and every member of CSPD that worked on this case from the moment it happened until today when justice was finally served. That group of people also absolutely includes the women and men of my office who work hand in hand with detectives to find truth. Our team included Brent Nelson, Tony Joya, Bev Rains, Joni Branstead, Becky Johnson, and many, many others. They worked hard to find the truth so that the wicked can be punished according to the law. Today, that punishment arrived with a guilty verdict and a life in prison sentence for the brutal and senseless murder of Riley. Riley's light continues to burn bright, and her loved ones, friends, and Riley's mom have dedicated themselves to guarding that flame. Riley is not forgotten, and today she received the justice that Colorado law can provide. I want to also specifically thank the men and women of Colorado Springs Police Department. Riley's mom, Courtney, specifically pointed out her victim advocate from Colorado Springs Police, who worked very closely with Courtney from the very moment that she was notified of this senseless and brutal crime. It's because of the dedication of people at CSPD, Colorado State Patrol, who helped close the loop on locating the monster that committed this senseless crime, and the people in our office who closed that loop finally on justice. Again, evil does exist in this world. People are dedicating themselves night and day to find truth. And it's through that truth that the wicked are punished. And that's exactly what we saw here today. With that, I want to turn this over to Adrian Vasquez, Colorado Springs Police Chief.
Well, thank you, Michael, and thank you all for being here. I want to echo something that Michael talked about, and that's that this was an evil person. This act of evil occurred on June 11th of 2022 against an innocent member of our community, Riley Whitelaw, who was horrifically murdered. And her promising future was taken from her, and she was taken from us as a community, and most importantly from her family to my right here. So I want to first thank or tell Riley's family how heartbroken I and the Colorado Springs community are. We're saddened not only at the loss of Riley, but at the understanding of the impact that your family has had to endure. I also want to thank the family for being patient and supportive with the legal system that has sought justice and brought justice to Riley. Today we stand together as a measure of justice has been found. While we know that this verdict can't bring Riley back, her legacy of being a kind and loving person will live on through her family and her friends and the legislation that was brought about in the wake of the tragedy. Riley's law will further protect the privacy of juvenile victims, witnesses, and their families. I also want to thank the 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office for the swift and just conclusion to the legal process. The 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office and Colorado Springs Police Department have an amazing work relationship that's been established, unfortunately, through a lot of tragic events like this. But us working together truly does bring justice in a manner that we saw today. I also want to thank my officers, my detectives, our victim advocates, and so many other employees with the Colorado Springs Police Department that truly have a passion and desire to support the victims in our community like Riley's family. Thank you to our law enforcement partners, investigators, for their professional responsiveness to this case for bringing it to an end. And thank you to all of the victim advocates, especially those that supported the family directly. I'm thankful that Riley's law will allow us further protection for other victims, witnesses, and their families statewide. Riley's life, which was cut short by the evil actions of one individual, will have a lasting impact on many. Her legacy will be the protection this law will provide to others and the dignity it gives to victims, witnesses, and families. Thank you.
We can take a couple limited questions if you have some. Nobody?
We've heard about scholarship funds and different things in Riley's memory. Can you share at all any of the next steps and those things if you know about them?
Do you know that?
I think that would be something that we can explore in the future with Riley's family when they feel up to talking to the media and releasing information about that. Mhm.
It did sound like there was a question about the sunflowers in this vase here. And so I think what Riley's family wants to share with you about that is that Riley was a very vibrant soul. They called her Smiley Riley, and they call her Sunshine, and the sunflowers remind them of her and her light. Anybody else? If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email me. Thank you all for coming.